In this section, we're going to talk about how you assemble a paper employee handbook. This will take some physical maneuvering as we go through the process of deciding what will go where. Once you get a visual of how you want it assembled, it will be easy to draft your table of contents. Let's get started. This part requires that you physically take all the material you have developed so far and lay it out in front of you. Get all of your existing policies and procedures and lay them out. Look at what you have and begin putting it into an order that makes sense for you and for your organization. This first step is to physically assess what documents you have that need to be assembled into your employee handbook. Lay them out on the table or floor and look at what you have. So when you look to assess your documents, ask these questions. Do they make sense? Are they all in the same format? Are they consistent from page to page? What order do they need to be in? Are you missing anything? Once you're reasonably comfortable that you have what you need to start, look at how you can group your policies. Keep in mind that your handbook is a living document. It will change over time based on the organization's needs and changes to laws and regulations. So now you're going to group your documents. Do you have all of these sections? All of this was mentioned earlier in modules 2 and 3. So again, look, do you have an introduction and general overview that addresses the mission, vision, philosophy, and culture of your organization? Do you have the standard local, state, and national laws and regulations included? What about company-specific policies, benefits-related policies? And you always want to make certain that you have contact information for your human resource consultant and/or the company designee. As you work to group your documents, consider these things. First, create groups of policies that belong together and begin forming an outline. For example, you may want to put all of the policies together that have to do with the corporate structure in one section, and then as you get more specific, put those policies for leave, whether it be the Family Medical Leave Act, paid time off, annual leave, sick leave, in another section. Make a list of all the individual policies in the order that you would like them to appear in the book. As you do this with the papers laid out in front of you, you can more easily move them around and put them in an order that makes good sense for you. You may even want to pin them up on a board or spread them out on a big table so that you can do this maneuvering. As you do this, mark up these policies to correct any errors or typos that you find. If you do this as you go along, you won't forget where these things are, and you can be more certain that when you complete your book, that you have it in as good a professional order as possible. And finally, get creative. The next couple of slides will have some incredibly innovative, creative, and enticing table of content examples. See what you think on the next 2 slides. Look at these 3 table of contents. The first one is from a cookbook, the second a sports magazine, and the third, well, you tell me. Aren't they interesting though? Aren't they captivating? They make you want to actually go and read them and to see what is in them. This is what you want your table of contents to look like. And look at these last 2. It's a Christmas one on the left and then one for a yearbook on the right. So you can be incredibly creative. The key here is to show your company culture right from the start. You want to get your employees' attention and you want to keep it because ultimately your goal is to make sure that they read the document. So now it's time to begin assembling your documents. You want to select a binder or binders that will hold your paper handbook. This would include dividers for each of the sections that you decided on to make finding them easier. Obviously, this will correlate to your table of contents and could be color-coded to match your colorful, creative, and inventive table of contents. Now that you have your handbook assembled, you must consider how you will share with your employees information about any updates and revisions. Employees must be notified of any changes you make to the handbook, and you must get from them a statement acknowledging that they received the changes. If the paper process seems to be too cumbersome, it may be time to consider moving from paper to a digital version of your employee handbook. If the goal is to get your policy set forth for your employees to have access to and to read, you must have a good system in place to do this. So far, in the first three modules, you've gone through the process of determining what needs to be included and how to go about assembling it. This strong and solid system will get you to your goal. Your organization must decide how to distribute paper copies of your employee handbook when you have revisions to make or updates to add. Will you print copies for everyone or just a few? How will you notify all of your employees of any changes? How will you ensure everyone receives the changes to your employee handbook and sign an acknowledgement? The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. I think Mr. Shaw was actually very correct. Do not assume that you have communicated with your employees. Make certain that you have. Now that we have gone through the process of assembling your paper employee handbook, it is time to consider if going digital suits your organization. By completing this process, hopefully you have seen how cumbersome it can be to create and maintain a paper version. This still may be the best option for your organization, but only you and your company can make that decision. Let's talk about creating an online or digital version. Then we will go through the process of moving your paper version to a digital version if that is what you need to do.